Hello once again, boys and girls and girls and boys. This is Mr. Clark, also known as Mr. C. And today we're going to be looking at my all-time most favorite way to multiply two numbers with a lot of digits. So we're talking about 2-digit, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit numbers. And this is just a really cool visual way to multiply large numbers. If you're just learning this for the first time, it can seem a little confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll find that it's a pretty fun way to do it, and you'll get very fast at doing this, and it's incredible how fast you can actually get at this. So it's called the lattice. I believe it's from India, and again, it's for multiplying bigger numbers. Okay, so what I've done here is I've made a 3 by 3 lattice, which means there are 3 boxes, and this is one box here, and this is another box here, this is another box here, okay? So we have 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3, by 3 box. So there's 3 boxes on top, by 3 boxes on the right. So 1, 2, 3. I have what's called a 3. Let me get into a pen color here. I have a 3 by 3 lattice. And so how many total squares do I have? Well, 3 by 3, I have a total of 9 squares, okay? This means that with this lattice, I can multiply two 3-digit numbers, okay? So, two 3-digit numbers. Let's pick some numbers here. Let's say that I want to multiply 486. Sounds good. By, I don't know, 572. Okay. Now, if you know how to do 486 times 572, the old-fashioned way that probably a lot of you have been exposed to or that you know how to do already, I encourage you to try this other way because it is super cool. All right. So what we want to do is we want to just go ahead and let's say that in this case, I have a 3-digit times a 3-digit number. I would set up a 3 by 3 lattice. So 3 boxes sitting on the top, 3 boxes on the side, a total of 9 squares, okay? Now inside those 9 squares, I go ahead and make diagonals. I'll make a diagonal there, I make a diagonal there, I make a diagonal there. And what you have are sort of all these diagonals, and what you've done is you've gone ahead and split each box into an upper half and a lower half, okay? Also very important to realize that your diagonals go from right to left. At the right they start at the top, and at the left they go down, so downwards to the left. Some kids actually draw their lattice this way, and for this purpose, for the purposes of this tutorial, it would be confusing to draw your lattice going from the top left to bottom right. So make sure that you're drawing your diagonals from the top right to the bottom left. Okay? That's important. Okay, so let's start and go ahead and inputting our numbers here. We have 486. We'll go ahead and write that at the top. Okay? And 572, we're going to go ahead and write on the, oh geez, that was ugly. We're going to go and write it on the left, 572, okay? Now, could I have written 572 at the top and 486 on the right? Absolutely. It doesn't matter where, well, it does matter where you write them, in my experience anyway, but you can either write any number on the top and any number on the right, just so long as your lattice is a 3 by 3 lattice, has a total of 9 squares, that your diagonals go from upper right to bottom left, and that you have numbers at the top and then numbers on the right. Okay? So 486 is on the top, 572 on the right. Now, let's start filling in our lattice. I'll go ahead and pick another color here. Red works. Now, what number do I put in this square here? Well, it's very simple. This is the 4 column, and this is the 5 row. Columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. And this box here is the product of 4 times 5. And by product, I mean the answer to the two numbers being multiplied. So what is 4 times 5? It's 20. We'll go ahead and write the first number on the top half of the square and the last number on the bottom half of the square. And so the next square here, well, what number do we put here? It's the product of 8 and, can you guess it? 5, okay? What I do is I picture that if 8 was going along here and 5 was going along here, which box do they meet? And it's this box here. All right, we'll get rid of those. All right, so the product of 8 and 5, well, 8 times 5 is 40. We'll just go ahead and write 4 up top, 0 on the bottom. And so what number goes here? Are you getting the hang of this? That's right, it's 6 times 5. That's 30. Okay? And then we'll go and fill out the rest of the squares. What number goes in this square? Well, it's the product of 4 and 7. And 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, and what number goes here? The product of 8 and 7. 8 times 7, 56. Oops, my mouse is going crazy here. 56. And this square here is the product of 6 and 7, which is 42. This number here is the product of 4 and 2, 8. Now here is an interesting, not really a problem, but an interesting thing that might happen. We have 2 squares to fill here, but we only have one number to put in there, 8. 8 is not a 2-digit number, it's a 1-digit number. Well, how do we make a single-digit number into 2 digits without changing its value? Very easy. We just put a 0 in front of it. So at the top will be a 0, and at the bottom will be an 8. Okay? So just remember that. Making single digits into 2 digits without changing its value, you just slap a 0 right in front of there. Okay? And so this box here is the product of 8 and 2, 16, and the product of 6 and 2, 12. All right. Now, here comes the fun part. Believe it or not, the hard part's already over. Now you're going to be adding the slides. And what do I mean by adding the slides? Well, the reason why we made our diagonals is, if you can see, we've created these slides. Here's one slide. Here's another slide. They're diagonal little slides. I mean, I always sort of think of a water park. You know, you're just going down the water slide. There's another slide. And here's another slide. Oops. Put that in a different color so it's a little bit more clear. Here's another slide. And there's another slide there, and finally the last slide, okay? So you've created these diagonal slides. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be adding the numbers together inside those slides. And so we start from the bottom right and we sort of work our way up to the top left, okay? So here we go. What is 2 plus, well, 2 plus nothing. There's nothing for 2 to be added to, so it's simply a 2. Okay, next sets of numbers. What is 2 plus 1? That's 3. Plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. Go ahead and write our 9 at the bottom of that slide. What is 0 plus 4? Well, that's 4. Plus 6, that's equals 10. Plus 1, that's 11. Plus 8, that is 19. Okay? So we're going to do this sort of the old-fashioned way of adding numbers. We're going to put the ones place down here, or the 9, and we're going to carry the 1 to the top of the next slide. Just go ahead and slap a little 1 there. Okay? So remember, if it's a 2-digit number, you put the ones place, or the digits place, the single digits place here at the bottom of the slide, and you carry the tens place, just like you're used to with normal addition. And then, of course, you just remember to add that 1 to the numbers on that slide. So what is 1 plus 3? It's 4. 4 plus 0 is, of course, 4. Plus 5 is 9. Plus 8 is 17. Plus 0 is still 17. We're going to leave the ones place and carry the 1. Pow. Then you have 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 0 is still 5. Plus 2 is 7. And then 2 plus, well, nothing is 2. And so your answer becomes, starting from the left, top left, and working down to the bottom and right-hand side. Oops, let me get rid of that. It is 2, 7, 7, 9, 9, 2. And don't forget to put this little comma here. And how do you know where to put the comma? Well, you just start at the number. You go 1, 2, 3, cha. And that's where you put the comma. So your answer to 486 times 572, well, of course, it's 277,992. So again, if you're just seeing this for the first time, it seems like a lot. But trust me, practice this skill with some numbers on your own, and you'll be surprised how really quick you can get with this method of multiplying numbers. I will say that the most common mistake made by students is that they rush when they're adding their slides, these diagonal slides. Take your time and don't forget every single number in that slide, and don't forget to put your single digits here, and you carry your tens place to the top of the slide after it. Okay? So that's the lattice. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.